Okay, we have gone ahead and we have given the answer, but still try and do this. Why is an indifference curve convex to the origin? And let me tell you here a very important point. Many students, I don't know why, would have marked B. It's an easy question, but many would have done it wrong. Many would have marked law of diminishing marginal utility. It is absolutely wrong. No. Law of diminishing marginal utility only says that my marginal utility diminishes. It does not say anything about the slope of the indifference curve. The slope of the indifference curve is MRS. So, if this is convex, it must be associated with the slope of my indifference curve. And that is diminishing MRS. So, please don't go ahead and please don't say that this is convex because of law of DMU. No. But why is MRS diminishing? That is due to the law of DMU. So what is MRS? MRS is MUX by MUY. Now when you move from one point, say point A to point B, you are increasing the consumption of good X. So when you increase the consumption of a good, its marginal utility should decline. When you go from A to B, you are decreasing Y. When you decrease Y, its marginal utility should increase. So its numerator is decreasing, denominator is increasing, so the fraction is decreasing. So yes, MRS diminishes because of law of diminishing marginal utility, but ICs are convex due to diminishing MRS. I hope all of you are clear. The two, one leads to another, but you should write this right answer. Okay, come to the next question. So this is pretty easy. What is the slope of the indifference curve? 1, marginal utility, MRS, both A and C. Okay, so people are answering B, correct. So everyone is correct. The slope of indifference curve is in fact, MRS. So the slope of indifference curve is in fact C, which is MRS. That's correct. Okay, come to the next question and let's see if you're able to now answer this. So earlier I have asked you about who derived the concept of cardinality. And we now remember for sure that cardinality was given by Marshall. Cardinality. Now I am asking you who derived the concept of ordinality. So now go ahead and answer this. What do you think should be the right answer to this question? Who derived the concept of ordinality? Okay, let's try to go ahead and see it. And it was derived by Hicks and Allen. This has been asked in, I think so, 2000 and maybe 21 or 2022 CUET paper. It came in that exam. Who derived the concept of ordinality? It was, I think it was something like this. Either they asked directly or it was in the match the following, as far as I can remember, where they gave these 4 concepts. They wrote, cardinality, they wrote ordinality, and they gave 2 more. And here they gave Hicks and Allen, and here they gave Marshall, and you had to match. So such questions are very, very common even in CUET, where they will ask you who derived what. Okay. Okay. Come to the next question. What is the condition of total utility when marginal utility is positive? Try to answer this question. What is the condition of total utility when marginal utility is positive? Now, see, this question is actually can have two answers, right? If you ask me, marginal utility is positive, it means marginal utility should be in the first quadrant. इसका मतलब ये तो नहीं वो diminish नहीं कर सकता, right? It is just saying it is positive. So if I draw my marginal utility like this, right beta, and I draw my total utility like this, so when is marginal utility positive? Marginal utility is positive in this zone. And when marginal utility is positive, I see that total utility is increasing. So what do we see? We see that this is increasing. That means it is correct. When marginal utility is positive, total utility is increasing. Fine. But suppose in exam, they just go ahead and they, instead of just giving you positive, ask you what is the condition of total utility when marginal utility is increasing. Something like this. When marginal utility is increasing. Now, if you visit class 11th and 12th books, na, the diagram that multiple books draw is something like this. Many books draw like this. They show an increasing phase of total utility in two parts. Increasing, see this is convex now. So this part of it beta, here one, this one. This is when it is increasing at an increasing rate. It's not only increasing, it is increasing at an increasing rate. So the slope is increasing. So marginal utility is like this, it is increasing. Then it is also increasing, but now it is increasing at a decreasing rate. How do I know? Ma'am, it is concave. So increasing या मतलब slope has to be positive values at a decreasing rate. मतलब slope has to decrease, but positive. When this is maximum का क्या मतलब होता है? If you differentiate this, it should give you 0. So marginal utility should be 0, na? Maximum means you differentiate and equate it to 0. So when this is maximum, this is 0, and then when this decreases, this is negative because it is falling. So suppose in exam they could have said you, what is the condition of total utility when marginal utility is increasing, not positive, increasing. Then you should have said it will increase at an increasing rate. Marginal utility positive अगर सिर्फ बोला है, मतलब ये पूरा aspect. So we know that total utility throughout is increasing in this zone. So we can simply say increasing. I hope you are clear with the slope concept. Okay. Okay, so we are done with the questions. I think I have another one. I will just try to cover this up. And then we will end the session. Okay, beta. From the given table, calculate how many goods, how many units of good X to buy if price of good X is given to you as 4. Also use the scale that 4 utils is given to you as 1 rupee, and this is represented in terms of marginal utility. Try to do this, just post your answers here. So you are saying that you are given that Px is 4, and it also says that 4 utils together is equivalent to 1 rupee, and you are given marginal utility. Try to just solve this question. try to give me the answer to this question. So the options are 3, 4, 5 or 2. So what you can go ahead and do is, you can just go ahead and check. This is my marginal utility in terms of units. Either I can convert this in terms of rupees and then I can see where it is equal to the price. Or I can convert this in terms of marginal utility and I can see where the two are equal, where my marginal utility of money is equal to the marginal utility of the commodity. So either ways you will get the same answer. So let's have a look into it. So we know that the rule that I have is, please put an M here. The rule that I have is MUX by PX. This should be equal to marginal utility of money. MUX by PX should be equal to MUM. So when you have to convert the price side in terms of money utility, you can just use this rule that 1 rupee gives me 4 utils. So how much will 4 rupee give me? 4 rupees will give me 16 utils. Right? Now where exactly am I getting marginal utility exactly equal to 16? Ma'am, here. So what will be my equilibrium quantity? 3 units. So you see, this is such an easy question. But it's just asked in a tricky way and you should be able to solve this. Okay, I'll put one question for homework and we will end the session. So this is a question which you should be trying for your homework. Rishabh consumes 2 commodities, candy and ice cream. The price of candy is given to you as 10. The price of ice cream is given to you as 15. Therefore, the marginal utility derived from candy and ice cream is equal to 8. You have to tell whether he strikes an equilibrium or not. It's a homework question. Try this and I will be coming with more of such sessions in the future. So we will try to do some more series of IGIDR in the coming weeks where we discuss some questions which are very similar to what comes in their exam. Okay beta, have a good day, good evening. Thank you.